What up? What up? What up? It's Ibn Web, Quran or something here. Got official thanks thing going here. Um, this one want to do a little different here. This is the 100th episode that I did with this here. When I did this, it was on the whim. Just pandemic going on, a lot of things going on here, and just my appreciation for my family and everybody else here. I just wanted to just have like a visual kind of things here. Just verbal hallmark, whatever you want to call it, as I've been calling it to myself. And I was just like, you know what? Um, I wanted to just, let people know just how much, they mean to me and continue to mean to me here. I know, teaching classes here. I do a little teaching. One of the assignments that I normally do, I like to do with the students, at the end of the semester, what have you, is to send out something of thanks of appreciation to somebody in their lives here, and just and mail it to them. You just sometimes we just get caught up in life, ripping and running, trying to make this much amount of money, trying to do this, trying to establish that, trying to just be this and be that, and just sometimes just forget to just say thank you. I know those are just two simple words. They get lost in the midst of just trying to just create and do and be whoever you want to be, or trying to be here in life here. Um, so I wanted to just do this as far as my way of doing it. Never thought I'd be having a podcast or show, or whatever the case is here. And like I said along the way, I don't even like to talk this much, to be honest. When I'm done talking, I'm at the crib, I'm chilling, doing absolutely nothing. That's one of my favorite pastimes, doing absolutely nothing. But with this going on here, like I said, it's been a thrill. It's been a thrill. And then even to extend it to like the whole Essex County all day edition here, as far as just whether it's definitely been dominated by sports figures or what have you there, but you know, it's growing up in that area, as far as just my thrill and just my joy and love for sports here on any level here. And it's having an opportunity to just talk to those who, I've heard, played against, you know, never got to see, but still heard about them. Like I said again, it's just been a pleasure. Like I said, just doing all of this. So with that being said here, what I want to just do, I just again just want to reiterate my thanks to everybody that jumped on here, willing to just share a little bit of their time here, because I know life can get the best of us, but to just give in some of your time here, I mean, it's been great. So with that said, just gonna get going here. First and foremost, one thing, that wife of mine and that child of mine for allowing me to do this. They've been able to just hear my excitement, probably annoyed the hell out of them a little bit in regards to just some of the excitement I have after, filming one of these and just talking to somebody here. But they've been great. They didn't shut down production. They didn't do anything as far as they boot me out the house. I had to play the couch, anything like that. They still love me for being, their husband or father here. So like I said, I just first and foremost want to just thank them for, them allowing me to do this and have some fun and just, just do something different here. You know, episode one, only right to start it with my mom here. I know my mom went through a lot, to have me. And, just to say thank you to her, just to let her know, like I said, all the stuff, the ups and downs, the highs and lows, the headaches I've given her, the joy, all of this, you know, pregnancy. There was thoughts about not having me and all this, but she was like, "The hell with that! I'm having this child." So, I honor her till I'm no longer here. So, with that being said, mom, thank you so much as far as just for everything that you done for me. May not always been right, but you was never wrong. I think that says it right there. Episode two, my father, Abu. That means dad, father in Arabic for those needing to know. Stand up guy. Stand up guy. You've been the same guy, you know, since I've been in this earth here, as far as just, playing your part, just doing your thing here, shooting straight forward with me. It might have been stuff I didn't want to hear or didn't like, but you was a straight shooter with it. You've lived your life, gracefully, as you just grace into those 70s and continue to live or what have you there. So just to set that foundation, I couldn't ask for a better father here. Just very, very proud to be your son. Missy, that sister of mine, crazy, crazy. And I mean that in the most positive, complimentary way whatsoever here. Like I said, you just do your thing. You figure this out. You navigate through life. You have a blast. You style on them. You just do what you do. As far as your mom, I mean, did what you needed to do to raise that nephew of mine here. Like I said, I'm just, couldn't ask for a better sister here. We've had our moments, but who don't? But with that said, I just want to say thank you. Then I wound up starting to do these Essex County all day editions, and my man Jason Curry. Wow, like I said, with Jason, we wound up actually being in kindergarten, grammar school together. I know I veered off and wound up going to school in Orange, but obviously just having Jason right there, his grandmother actually living in my complex, having to see him even throughout my time growing up here. And obviously as sports took off, Jason took off, whether it was basketball, baseball, or football, you name it here. You know, he's a proud, attorney. I know he, even more now, a husband and a father. So you and Stacy just have an opportunity to meet, Stacy, a couple of years ago out in California, man. Like that was real cool, man, just to see how far you've come, in regards to just life and just, new challenges, new obstacles, and just doing what you need to do, man. But like I said, now a proud father, man. I know, little man, he couldn't ask for two better parents. But Jason, I really appreciate you just setting this off, not even knowing you were setting it off. So I definitely appreciate it. Where I go to next here, Auntie. You know, last few years, obviously, we've probably gotten more closer than we have as far as, when I was younger, what have you there, have an opportunity to visit you year in and year out, just coming down to see you, what have you. It's been a pleasure. It's definitely been a pleasure. And I know I can never replace Keon, that cousin of mine, that son of yours, who was who left us back in '97 here. Like I said, I miss him every day. Miss him every day. Like I said, I know I can never replace him, but to fill a little void, to have a little knucklehead male nephew, around, might not have hurt a little bit here, to boost your spirits, lift your spirits up, or what have you here. But what you've been through, tragically losing Keon, and then even trying to figure out this whole life thing of yours, but to end up in a great place, great situation, married, just enjoying retirement life, what have you here. I mean, it could have ended out any better here, except for obviously Keon being here. Outside of that, though, like I said, couldn't end it any better here as far as what you're doing here. Greg Tynes, the legendary Greg Tynes, Orange High standout coach, Clifford Scott, East Orange campus, I believe, West Orange, what have you, that just even an opportunity just to talk to him, just having seen him and do his thing, everything else. The one question I forgot to ask him about the rumors in regards to, shooting that jump shot, you could put so much arc on it before it go in. You could kiss a cheerleader, head back down the court before even dropping in that. I hear rumors that's how it used to go down. So I forgot to even mess with him and bring that up here, just how sweet that jumper was here. My cousins, Gigi, Keisha, Sakina, my big cousins. I'm the little cousin here. Always knew they had my back no matter what here, in regards to just if I needed a call or Jimmy just being around them and what they've been through, the stuff, books and things should be written about here. Losing my aunt, all of them being teenagers, pretty much raising themselves, with adults checking in, whether it was grandma, whether it was my mom, what have you there, father pretty much back then in and out their lives. So they pretty much raised themselves along with, the other siblings here. I can never say I had a bad day. I can only imagine some of the stuff they went through that I don't even know about. But just to say like they my big cousins, they hold it down. Just nothing else I could just really, really say. I mean, that says it all here. Tawana, same thing. My other big cousin here. I know life, threw you some curves, like threw you off here and there, but you held your ground and did what you needed to do to raise them kids. And also not only raise those kids, but to even better yourself, college educated, just doing your thing. I'm just so proud of you. I'm just so proud, like I said, to be your little cousin here. This Essex County thing here. Lonzo Cumberland, better known to a lot of us as Lonnie. Lonnie's one of the plugs of the plugs here. I say that to say as far as, just, Ed, I get this person, get that person, what have you there. But even before that, man, just to hear him, just talking, sharing his experience as far as, playing sports, growing up in North, having to make that change to better himself to leave Essex County to go to high school, later on being up at BU, you know, being that great father that he is as well too, man. Just getting to chop it up with him. Like I said, I appreciate the time with Lonnie, but also us continuing to talk and check in with each other here. No, Lonnie, my man, like I said, you're one of the plugs of the plugs with this whole official thanks thing here. The next plug of the plug is actually is Cleon Hill. When I ran this past Cleon, he's like, if I can get you this person, I get you that person. A lot of these episodes wouldn't be possible without Cleon, man. And I can't thank you from the bottom of my heart how much it means to me for all that you've done as far as just giving me an opportunity to talk to people that I never thought I would speak to or hear from. But even talking to you directly, being in the same grade, actually going to school together, middle school, what have you, always competing against one another here. Seeing you just, grow up and do what you do now. You know what I mean? As far as giving back, you coaching, you training some guys. I mean, career person as far as working or what have you did. And I know a hole is in your heart here, with your pops not being around. You know, the great Cleo Hill Sr. I know that that's a big hole that'll never get filled. But I know even hearing some of these stories and people that, we've been able to link up and I've been able to talk to here definitely brings a joy to it. So I can't thank you enough, Cleon. I appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. Jason, I talk to Jay every day. This is my man from high school. I pretty much every day, every other day, probably 3, 4 days don't go by without us like, talking or what have you. There. Like I said, he probably knows Ed better than a lot of people, in regards to just us just sharing and trading, whether it's war stories, life stuff. We dads now, we waited forever to have kids. So we talk about our kids, we talk about what we doing with ourselves and moves we're trying to make, the mishaps, not so good times that I couldn't, who would have thought, opposites attract. I guess they do here. Out the knucklehead running around, not doing my work, what have you. You the straight A, student here. So I guess opposites do attract. You're my man. No, I appreciate it, Jay. Was able to get Latish Kensler on. As far as this thing started to pick up a little bit here. As far as what he's done, I mean, again, you could check the episode out, but what he's done with himself, it's just been great. Obviously, me and his little brother Jakeem, graduated together, but just to be the young and watching him, just navigate this stuff, as far as whether it's through sports and even after sports, the real estate, the sports agent stuff, just everything that he's been doing, Family Guy, just holding a lot of people down, including myself here. Just wanted to thank you, Latish. Ed Elam. Ed is one of the best teammates I ever had in my life. We never played like high school ball together or anything like that or college or what have you. It was the little lads. It was the AAU, just to get inspired, but just how hard Ed worked. Ed went to work, as far as just playing. And, like I said, I could never have asked, for a better team. Man, I used to look forward to little lads, look forward to AAU just because I knew I'd be catching over Ed. And obviously the baseball player, I mean, playing baseball against him as well too. But just to see, him still, doing his thing and, family man, what have you. But like I said, I could have never asked for a better teammate. Like I said, Ed is definitely one of my favorite teammates here. Dexter Cumberlander, Lonnie's pops. Again, this is when Lonnie started plugging me in. The Banjo stories, just how he just dazzled everybody back in the '70s in regards to his play on the field. Just hearing that stuff almost made me want to grab a helmet and a football. You know, uh, Mr. Cumberland, like I said, just your journey, from North to out to the West Coast to now just being retired in Ohio, just relaxing, loving life here. It was a pleasure just hear you. So I just wanted to say thank you, Mr. Cumberland, for all that time there. Then I was like, you know what? Let me start trying to get some of my more of my favorites on together, and I was able to do that. Shamil Simpkins and Fabian Thorne. I used to just hear about them, and I had a chance to watch them play, and just you know, uh, they got busy. That's all I can say. They just got busy. Two East Orange guys, East Orange in and out, but they didn't let East Orange define them. It just helped them motivate them as far as in regards to other things that they're doing, business ventures that they're doing as well too. But athletically, like I said, it was just a joy to not only see him, but to just hear stories about, Fabian and Shamil. Like I said, salute to y'all too. Like I said, and I told y'all one of my favorites. Definitely one of my favorites here. I was like, let me roll the dice. Let me see who I can get, see if I could pull somebody here. I made a point as far as me going to Immaculate to make sure I got some Immaculate people, in regards to that. I was like, you know what? Let me get one of the icons of Immaculate here, Rich Kanah. Very humble about it. Olympian, you know, record holder as far as in the track and field here. So Rich, he said, not a problem. I'll get on. He probably when he got on, like, who the hell am I talking to, or whatever the case may be here. But he was just so gracious enough, like I said, to just share his story or what have you. And again, Rich is the best. He's one of the best as far as Immaculate or what have you here. And Rich, I do owe you a race. So let me get to running and get right here. I owe you a race to come down to Georgia there and run one of these races that you're doing here. Ira Bowman, another one I just said, not a problem. Obviously, there's some loose ties, my big cousin and him, being cool, growing up, living across the street from each other until he moved, but just to see Ira, just the focus, laser sharp focus he just had, whether it was playing or even in the classroom. He knew, like I said, what he wanted to do and how to get there. He navigated it. Obviously, his teams did well at Seton Hall Prep. He was able to go on to Providence, eventually ended up at Penn, spent some time in the league, but also just knew what he wanted to do. And I think just anybody just want a model of a person that's just laser focused and, you know, um, having things built up in regards to what they want to do, need to take a look at Ira and talk to Ira here. Like I said, now he's on the bench down at Auburn University, doing his thing. I'm sure a head coaching gig is next up for him. So, he definitely got a big fan in me. So nah, salute to you as well, Ira. Appreciate you even jumping on here when you didn't have to. And it was actually in the middle of the season during the pandemic. So I appreciate you just, sacrificing, a little bit of your time for me. Thank you. Alan Watson and Yasin Carmichael. This is like my Isaiah and Joe Dumars. This is my Earl Monroe and Walt Frazier. These are my guys here. Like I said, Al was just a wizard with the basketball, just a wizard. Yasin as well too. I mean, they came up from St. Rocco's doing a thing, continuing in high school, and just to hear them just together, you could just see the camaraderie continues to stay there. I mean, years later, and that's what a lot of this stuff is about, especially when you're talking about sports, just the camaraderie and the ability to just, stay in touch with a lot of folks throughout the years here. But Al and Yaz, I appreciate that. I had a blast. Melvin Knight, Mr. Knight, patriarch of the Knight household here. Not the boss. I'll leave that title for Mrs. Knight. But Mr. Knight, I appreciate you just jumping on. Just hearing your story, how you navigated through North, through those tough times in the city, getting to Seton Hall and having to go through some racial tension, just things you had to just deal with just being there. But ultimately, going to Seton Hall University, playing ball, career abruptly ended just due to some injuries, but you knew life went on. Life went on. And as far as just doing other things with yourself, whether it was coaching or other business ventures or what have you there, proud father, Brevin and Brandon, you know, and I'm sure it's been a joy of just watching them. But to have an opportunity for me just to listen to you and hear your story and just things that you've done with yourself here and some of the ups and downs here, I know I was fortunate enough to sit on one of your benches and play for you in regards to a couple of years with AAU here, but never really got a chance to just hear about you. You'll share a little bit, but just to sit there, just have a few minutes just to hear about you. I couldn't ask for a better time. So, no, Mr. Knight, thank you. Abdul Halim Muhammad. I know I still slip and call him Lee. You know, but Halim here, I know my first football coach, when I decided to just put that helmet on and play, you know, who else to play for? Tenacious, competitive, wanted to win, designed defenses, ran different offices, what have you there, but just, found that light in me, that fire in me to make sure, like no matter what I was doing, I was giving my all. But he made sure that him and the coaching staff, but Halim was, definitely, the spearheaded all of that. And thank you, because again, like I said, without you, I don't know as far as if I would have continued to play football or not. But you lit that fire. You found something in me, and I guess I just took off and ran. But I those days at Anderson Park, Edgemont Park, whatever the case is, A, B League, what have you, we did it. We did it, and you did it for me. And I just thank you. Darrell Williams and Kevin Harris, Kev and Darrell. Like I said, I was able to get them together here. We played that magical eighth grade year, that national championship run, that undefeated team here, the best ever, hands down. Anybody could debate all they want here in regards to that. But even outside of that, you guys done went on and become, great career men, fathers, what have you, husbands, and just to have some fun and laugh and just talk shop and whatever the case is with both of you guys here. Like I said, I was just so happy to just sit back and just listen and just add in and talk whatever I was able to. So no, thank you guys. Terrell Willis. Didn't think I could get Terrell. I thought Terrell might, you know, kind of was like, you know what, the sports stuff, I'm gonna leave it alone and not talk to anybody here. But we got a connection. We Orange boys. We from Orange. Though I didn't go to Orange High, I mean, we spent time middle school together. Same grade, everything else, and then Terrell just took off when he got to high school in regards whether it was track, whether it was football, whatever. I know he played basketball. You know, probably best during my era, probably the best player, probably best player, football player I saw in my time in my little window of high school. Probably was Terrell. You know, got a chance to sneak over and see a game. I think I might have had a Friday night game and they played Saturday. He put on a show. I mean, I know the other Terrell always talk about the popcorn and having it ready. Yeah, you know, you definitely need your popcorn for this Terrell. Went on the Rutgers, did some great things over there as well too. Career wise, I know he does it. He got his hands in a couple of things. He's doing well for himself here. But just to sit back and just listen to him talk. I mean, those ups and downs, some things he went through, athletically and even personally as well too. It was just great. It was definitely just great to just to hear him talk, and I'm sure a lot of people was delighted just to, you know, hear Terrell. Mike Kenny, the writer of all writers for Star Ledger during my time. Mr. Kenny continues to write for Star Ledger. It's not Star Ledger, I guess now. I mean the technology version or what have you here, NJ.com, what have you. Mr. Kenny, he got a lot of people prom dates as far as us guys. He got a lot of us prom dates, with articles and things that he wrote about, his commentary, what have you there, those all county teams, which meant the world to everybody, including myself here. Just having the opportunity to make a couple of those teams, whether it was junior year or senior year, just seeing my name and then having articles written or what have you, like it was just a joy just to, like I said, to have those opportunities here. And as I share with them, I got a lot of people upset in my complex because we didn't get the paper every day. My mother did. And so what I used to just do, wake up like 5, 6 in the morning, go to somebody's house. I used to just take turns as far as which sports page I was going to take, from somebody's porch. Some days I didn't have, it might have been too cold. I just took the whole paper. So, but Mr. Kitty, thank you for everything that you've done for New Jersey sports, and particularly Essex County. Thank you. You know, Mike Lamberti, Mr. Lamberti, all the stuff that you've done as well, as far as the journalist work that you've done in regards to not only Essex County but beyond. You know, just having a joy. I mean, just reading some of your articles, you could just tell the joy that you had and continue to have as far as doing this work here. You bring the stuff to life, and I just want to just thank you just for everything that you've done and all that you've done there. My man Farouk, we grew up together. Wow, he's probably I can't think of how many years this has been, but in the same breath, but when I walked through those doors in fifth grade, being upset that I had to leave school in Montclair, but when I went over to Orange over on Cleveland Street, you was right there with open arms. You welcomed me. Knowing we lived in the same complex, but never really had too much exchange up until then. But it's been there until now. Just been going, like I said, cutting my hair, put Ibn in my head, just, trying to figure out how I should just tackle this big head here, but in the same breath, just the ups and downs, families knowing one another. Man, it's been a ride, man. We still riding this thing out, man. I appreciate you so much. Thank you. Lee Mullins, another one from my complex. You know, he was our Jordan. He was our Jordan. He actually wore 23, what have you there. You know, when I went to Immaculate, I knew he was there along with Mark Hardaway, but I knew Wes was there, to hold me down, make sure I didn't do anything stupid, even though I did do some stupid stuff to points. One time we got I got into an incident where about to go jump this kid, just somebody in his class actually, and it came down to a point where he literally had to like tackle me to stop from getting involved in that. So I probably gave him some headaches as well too. Like this kid gonna grow up eventually here, but just on the court here, you needed a bucket, you go to West. And Immaculate, was pretty thankful to have him and making sure that he no, he was there. He was there, and he continues does his thing here with his daughter. Just seeing her play, just watching her grow up, become the woman that she's becoming. Married man, what's up, Stace? In regards to all of this as well too. So no, Wes, I appreciate everything. Barry Sturdy, wow. T, what's up, man? We go back probably fifth grade, fifth grade. Playing football, what have you there. But the man you've become and how you just continue to reinvent yourself. These hurdles, these walls you run into, you somehow find a way to get over them and just keep continuing to reinvent yourself. I know we didn't get a chance, to talk knee deep about, your track life and how, that took you any and everywhere, including, a scholarship, as far as to be able to run in college and get you an education as well. But I know also the entertainment world, whether it's in the music business, getting some plaques on your walls, being around, you can name the names of names, any and everybody here. Then you sliding over to, television and movies, having your own movies. I'm able to go on Netflix and pull up a movie by you, man. How cool is that? That's all right, man. Just, I can actually just pick the phone up and like, I know him. I know him. So no, T, keep doing it, man. I'm looking forward to what's to come. I mean, maybe you give me a ticket to Academy Awards one day. Why not? Cleo Hill Jr. and Reggie Miller, teammates at Orange High here, both in their own rights individually, got busy here. The ups and downs, Reggie, I know just having to deal with, career-ending injury that, threw him off and having to go to Rutgers here. But just hearing everything that he's done here, that he continues to do, got our own motivation going on here. We do a lot of speaking and what have you there. Reg, salute to you, man. And I appreciate all the support with all this stuff as well, too. Cleo, just having that name in itself, whether it's motivating or was it a challenge early on, either way, man, you've created your own path. Outstanding player, you're a coach and educator of men now. As far as you're now currently at Winston-Salem State. Just wishing you all the best in regards to how you guys are going to do. And then I didn't mention even with Cleon, your brother here. Can't wait for your pops to get that gym, in his name here. Long overdue, definitely long overdue. So I know it's on the horizon. It's due to come here. But it was a pleasure to get both you guys, on the call here and just to officially thank you guys. So thanks to both of you guys. Donald Moxley, same age, same year, everything else here. When Irvington High got on them runs, he was one of the main reasons. But athletics wasn't his only thing here. Academically, just as great. Went on to Princeton, graduated from Princeton. Doing well for himself. And I think it was just an honor just to hear him and outside of picking up a paper or watching them or what have you, but just actually just hearing this come up here. And I appreciate Donald just taking time out. A lot of this stuff here, some of the stuff has just been cold calls and cold direct messages and emails. But Donald was, he was solid enough to be like, nah, not a problem, man. Let's talk. Coach Ryan. Now, a lot of my coaches I run through a wall for, and Coach Ryan is definitely one of them. Just his approach and his connection, with his players. And things he do might have been a little orthodox, little crazy, and thinking about stuff that would never fly today. As far as what's going on and what he's done from from throwing the soda cans damn near out at us, different activities or what have you there, as far as we're doing as far as in practice or what have you there. But I wouldn't have had it no other way. And this is at the JV level. And I know he's assistant coach for the varsity, but those JV days, freshman, sophomore year, the Ryanisms, a lot of different sayings that stick with us to this day, as far as with me when I think about different quotes or things to get me going or what have you. So now, Coach Ryan, I appreciate everything, and I was so glad to have an opportunity a couple of years ago to come down and watch you coach and just spend some time with you and hang out with you afterwards as well. A little different, not seeing you going crazy on the sideline these days. I know we sometimes grow older and mellow out a little bit, but like I said, it was still a great time seeing, and I appreciate all you've done and meant to me. And I was able to get, Dula, Alfie, Arleaf, and my pops on a call here. Having an opportunity to do this, to just talk about Alpha Alfie, and Dula's pops meant a lot. I wish he was here. I miss him, but obviously I know his kids miss him way, way more. So just having opportunity just to hear about him, some of the things that he did and navigated, and everybody ain't no 9 to 5. There's other ways to do this. And Fatia, like I said, found other ways to do this. It obviously it came with some things. It came with some drama. It came with some stuff, but somehow, like I said, he was loved a lot more by many than disliked by some. So, like I said, to have those guys on just to share those stories and to talk about them, meant the world to me here. And Ali, if you owe me a solo one too, so hopefully I can get you all by yourself as well. Dana Wynn. When I think about the times when I played or what have you there, Dana was she's a monster. Just playing ball, and from day one, I was fortunate enough to be in school with her freshman year before she transferred. But just seeing her, man, she's just great. Thank you, Dana. And one more thing, or a couple more things about Dana though, before I move on to the next person. Dana allowed that basketball to take her around the world professionally. Things that she thought she'd never do, coming from Orange, East Orange area, what have you. And just to see her elevate, whether it was Maclet, Scott, Seton Hall, WNBA, other professional leagues here. Like I said, don't tell me you can't do something and be somewhere and get somewhere. Dana's living proof that could definitely happen. Gil Ross. Gil. You know, probably one of the best teams ever to come out of Immaculate. You know, football and basketball during this time. He came after me, a little bit after me. There was another quarterback, at, Eugene, and then Gil came in and took over for Eugene. But I knew. I mean, some people you just know right from the door, they special. And I knew Gil. I mean, by the time he hit senior year, he was going to be through the roof, and that's exactly what happened in regards to just his leadership. And Gil's just a flat out winner. You know, in regards to just how he competes, everything else here. I know he's going on to went on to play at Rutgers. You know, had a solid career at Rutgers as well too. Got into the housing game, and what I appreciate about Gil, just even talking to him during this episode here, just his candor and just his straightforwardness. Like some things didn't go his way, post athletic life as far as some decisions and some things how the world just with the housing market and all that. But he on his feet, like I told you, Gil's a winner. So no doubt in my mind, Gil is all right. Is going to continue to be all right here. But like I said, I'm very proud of Gil. So I just want to say thanks, Gil. I appreciate you just sharing your time and being open too. Thank you, Steve Tolbert, Mr. Tolbert. You know, I know he got the sideline chatter these days, but before all of that, there was the Montclair Times every Thursday that came out. So I didn't live in Montclair, so I couldn't steal those papers, but I found the way to get a hold of them one way or another. If I had, a couple of dollars, obviously, to purchase one or two of them. But if not, like I said, I creatively found ways to make sure to get a paper because I knew Mr. Tober had things to write about all the schools in Montclair, whether it's Immaculate, whether it was Montclair High, whether it's Kimberly Academy, but just enjoyed this to stay in the loop to know what's going on. Not only with Immaculate, but also the other teams in town here. So, and Mr. Tober was the main person behind all that stuff. I know there were other journalists or what have you there, but he was the main guy for us during that time. So, no, Mr. Tober, I just want to say thank you for all you've done. I know the life of journalism has changed, in regards to this, but you stay with the times and you continue to do something that you found the joy and the love for, and that's something to just admire. So I just wanted to say thank you. Chet Paulavecchio, this is somebody I didn't think he would do it, as far as to get on, but just to hear about him, didn't even know he's from Irvington, as far as growing up in Irvington. Didn't know he's from Irvington. To go on to Seton Hall Prep, stellar career, all everything, and then on to Penn State, where he competed at the highest of levels and did great, get drafted, playing the opportunity to play in the pros, you know, channel that and switch that up and have an opportunity to just start coaching, giving back some of the things that he learned from a lot of people here. Great coaching career, multiple schools, what have you, infectious personality. You just just a great guy, just totally a great guy, and I appreciate everything, every minute that I had with him. So I just want to thank him here. Terrence Hunter, I know we're talking to him beforehand. You want to talk to me? Of course, I want to talk to you. You know, used to bust our ass as far as when you guys joined the conference at Immaculate, that's Colonial Hills Conference. Down in university here. Wound up just doing what you needed to do in regards to just getting busy and just playing or what have you there. And I know university it wasn't one of the dominant North schools, but you made it one. You helped make it one. As far as the work that you put in and everything else here, and then what you continue to do. Some of the business ventures that you're in. Coaching. AAU teams and everything else here. But this is just hear all of that. I just wanted to say thank you for the opportunity again. I know this was me being cold as far as reaching out, a cold reach out here, but you was gracious enough, like I said, to give me some of your time. So I want to say thank you. Marquise Bragg, as I shared with him, he's like Superman. He's one of the superheroes, one of the best of the best, over at Scott, on the Providence, got a chance to play in the league, went overseas. Like I said, you'd be surprised, like I said, where a round ball to take you. And it took him a lot of places and it's played a pivotal part in his life. I know he's doing some coaching now or what have you there, but just to just sit there, I was just like a kid in a candy store, Might have said what's up to him, maybe in my life, or probably was scared to say what's up. I probably said what's up to him in my mind, thinking he said what's up to me or something. But to have an opportunity to just listen to him and just to shoot the breeze with him, I really really appreciate it. Thanks, Marquise. Marcus and Dan, these guys came around probably one of the most important times of my life. You know, leaving New Jersey, having to go to Pittsfield, Maine. Never stepped foot in a day in my life till I got dropped off to go to prep school. Fortunate enough to have Marcus as my roommate. Dan was right down the hall. You know, common bond. We all from Jersey here. You know, you think looking back on it, just like I don't know how I would have got through that year without those guys and a couple others, but these guys in particular, as far as just we up there, it's cold. It's we trying to learn, we trying to get the score. We need to get on these SATs, trying to do all this stuff in the same breath, trying to grow up and do something with ourselves here. So, they don't know how much I probably needed them during that time. But damn, I needed them, and I'm glad even to this day I'm able to just need be to reach out to both of them, doing well for themselves. Married guys, Dan did some coaching, doing some coaching. I've done some coaching, watching his kids grow up. Marcus, can't wait for you to get to the NFL with the refereeing, man. Just let me know when you get that call, man. I'd love to be one of those front and center at that first game in the NFL. I know you're in the collegiate level, but you're trying to get, like I said, get that call to get up to the league here. So when you get that call, please just let me know. Like I said, make every effort to get my butt to that game, that first game you officiate in the league. I know I don't do the football that much, but I'll make an exception. Make an exception for that. But speaking of me, Miss Chinquette, you know, being a parent now, and I understand, like, as far as let your child go and live and try to figure it out. You know, and I was that kid trying to figure it out while I was up in Maine. I know they had a program where you had host families, and actually it was Marcus. Marcus and myself got assigned to Miss Chinquette. She opened her house up to us. Was like, here, you need to come over, stay the night. You stay the night to get off campus, just to see a different set of walls or just have some type of home life. Not a problem. Need a meal, I have you. Not a problem. Even when we left, or when I left, continue to stay in touch with Mr. Cat. Actually, I think I went back to Maine a couple of times, and Mr. Cat ended up moving to Florida, and I had opportunity to see her down there. When I went to visit other relatives as well. I just know how much she's meant to me and continues to mean to me. In regards to when I talk about that time, just being a man, how pivotal that was. I could have went right, left, up or down, like I said. But she's one of the reasons I stayed the course and just figured this thing out here. So thank you, Miss Chinquette. Troy Austin, probably one of the best football players to ever come through Immaculate. Interesting, he talked about not even being able to get in a 3-point stance to being a scholarship athlete, going to Duke University, captain of Duke football team, senior year, what have you there. It's not where you start, it's how you finish and where you continue to go. He's also, I might be messing the title up, but associate assistant athletic director at Duke as well. Now, again, I might be messing the title up, but I know he's an AD in some capacity at Duke, and could be more proud of him. Orange guy too as well. And for some reason, I didn't know that, but like I said, just proud of the man Troy's become, and the family man that he is, and what he continues to do. Again, it's definitely inspiring, motivating, just to see folks doing their thing here. And Troy, thank you for the opportunity as well. Mark Showbiz Brown, another one of those superheroes that in my mind I pretend that I knew or met or probably said what's up in passing. Hoping he said what's up back. Again, that's all in my mind. But just to actually get him live and just hear about him, some of the things he went through as far as playing at, growing up, being in South Orange, Maplewood there, some of the racial stuff he had to go through, but athletically that didn't stop him. Continue to play ball, went over to Siena, where he just starred. And again, talk about that little ball, whether it's football, basketball, baseball, whatever it was. That basketball of his, though, allowed him to see the world and have a career for himself. and he's doing well. Like I said, head coach now, Jersey City State. Well, definitely just happy to know that I had an opportunity to talk to Mark Showbiz Brown. You don't know how exciting I was for that as well. Speaking of excitement, Lester, Coach Lester, is one of those I just hear about or heard about. I might have saw him when he announced the games on TV3. That's kind of how I knew who he was. But outside of announcing the games, the legendary player he was at Central High School, going on to Montclair State, doing well, in the Hall of Fame. Pick your Hall of Fames, he's in it. Coach Lester, just the career that he's had. And I know it abruptly ended due to health reasons as far as coaching on the sidelines, which probably, ate at him and may still eat at him a little bit now, but can't take away all the work that he did prior to having to step away from the sidelines. And Coach Lester, I'm just so honored and continue to be honored that I had the opportunity to sit and talk with you and how great it was as far as to have the opportunity. So, Coach Lester, I just want to say thank you. John Alvarado, man, you talk about a football player, should just be a poster of John. Like I said, he's what a football player is. Ain't taking no BS on either side of the ball. You know, defense, offense, not taking any noise. Ain't playing around. Belleville is proud to have him. You know, lace those cleats up. For all those 4 years and him moving over to Montclair State. And I know he's probably even more proud of his boys and what they've been able to do as far as just being a father and watching them. John, thank you so much for just giving me the opportunity to meet you and to hear a little bit about your story and your journey here. You don't know how taken back I was because I didn't think I would be able to get you. So I just wanted to, John, just say thank you, for the opportunity. Vern, my big cousin slash big sister, I guess. This last year there's been a lot going on in regards to, losing your son. My man, Rashad, I miss him. I miss him. Lost him this past Halloween. Like I said, I miss him. Like I said, it's tough. It's tough. You know, just being just being there for me. You know, throughout my life here. Some of the hiccups I done had where you let me stay at your house a couple of times where I had to get situated or what have you. You didn't bat an eye. You was just like, I got you. Come here. Get do what you need to do or what have you, or just being that voice, that sounding board, just to call or like I said, just say what I needed to say or what have you about any situation there. But just being a great big cousin slash big sister to me, I really appreciate it and thank you for all that you've done for me. Thank you. Andre Evans. Dre, what's up, man? I appreciate it. I appreciate the time, man. I know we had to double back and do the interview again, and you was cool enough to do that, man. I know you pounding these streets, being a Norc officer, but before being an officer, you know, you was running up and down these fields, giving people hell. I saw whether it was at East Side, whether it was at William Patterson, just giving them straight hell. You know, that's all you've done, like I said, just for the city of North. Whether them having the pleasure to watch you or now you have an opportunity to provide service for the city and what you do. Like I said, North couldn't have a better person, man. You solidify. You are what North is, man. So, nah, Dre, I appreciate those moments. Appreciate those moments with you have an opportunity to talk to you. Johanna White, Coach Wright, she styled on him. She was aggressive with him as far as coaching. She did her thing. She's from a sports family. Husband, God bless Mr. Wright, her kids, what have you there, but she created a lane of her own as far as I didn't even know it till she shared it. The first coach of two coaches that coached the girls' McDonald's game was at the Guard. How special is that? But even outside of the accolades here, he was a leader, young women and young men, as far as, and I'm sure to this day, folks reach out to you for some type of guidance or what have you there. Just all you've done for the sport of basketball And I hate to just single it out as far as girls. I'm just saying basketball in general. I mean, you couldn't ask for a better person as far as to just, hold it down and do your thing here. Coach Wright, I just appreciate you just giving me some time, that little window of time for me to just share just who you are, what have you there. Like, I'll never forget it. So, nah, thank you so much. Hanise Williams, it's interesting back to back here. Coach Williams, she's just doing her thing. She's up at West Orange. I know she made an earlier stop at Central there, but now she's at West Orange. She's an S County champ. She continues to just be a builder of young women as far as making sure not only on the court but off the court as well. A great mother, great husband. You got an athletic family, so the mileage on them cars and the hopefully I got the frequent flyer miles as far as having to fly this way and that way with the kids and what have you there. But just you yourself here. I mean, those who are underneath you or those who are a guy can ask for a better person to guide them. So Coach Williams, I really appreciate you, just giving me the opportunity to talk to you a little bit. Thank you. Akbar Muhammad, boxing official. Just out there, just doing your thing, man. Sports has played a part in your life, whether it's football, but again, you went over to boxing here. Being a boxer yourself, man, throwing those jabs, those combos, doing anything else, leading to a life of just officiating, being a chance to see the world as far as just doing something that you love here and how individualized boxing is, and how much character that it builds. I mean, all that goes into it, you're just able to share some of that stuff and opportunities and the people that you've met here, I'm sure means the world to you. But what means the world to me is to have an opportunity to hear you talk about it. And you gave me that chance. So no, Akbar, I appreciate it, man. Now I went over to was able to get a hold of my college boys. Definitely was happy to catch up with them, get a hold of them. Well, first I couldn't get them all at once, though I tried. So was it Jake, Key, Rayon, and Sean was able to get them on. Talked a lot about fatherhood. I could have talked about any and everything else under the sun, but I just thought as men and what we grew into, from ripping and running and figuring out how we got to that 8 o'clock class after a hell of a night the night before, figuring out how we was going to pass this exam, figure out what we're going to do with the rest of our lives. Somehow we all figured it out and probably, it's got some tweaks and some things to do, continue to do here, but just how proud I am of y'all. I just don't know, how much I needed y'all as far as in my life, man. Just again, those early adulthood days and not knowing what's going to happen or where you're going to end up at, but just having some people around me that eventually knew what they was going to do or what have you. They always say you are the company you keep. I'm a firm believer in that, and I've been blessed to have some good company with me. I just want to thank y'all. Thank you. Speaking of college, Kev and Phil, Kev first. Yeah, I guess mentioned to you, he was like my Hussein Bolt, man, as far as, the track guy he was and actually the football player too. I mean, just doing your thing as well, athletically here. I didn't get a chance to even talk to you about singing and all that. God bless country, man. I know he just passed. I know whether it was, solo and your group with country, man, you know, and I know you've had some hardship, during this pandemic, some things happen, man. But I know things have turned around, and I know things is on the up and up for you. And I'm just proud just how you've persevered and you continue to do what you need to do. Oh, I mean, my man, Kev, Phil, the multi-sport guy. I didn't think it was possible once you got to the college level. You can even do that or try to do it. I guess Kev's the same. I guess thinking about it now, but just the two back-to-back sports, football and basketball. I was like, nah, no way. Nah, you made it happen. You made it happen. It's just one of those. Don't tell somebody you can't do something. You showed us that you can. And I think just even moving on from there. I mean, as you continue to love sports or what have you, you also well, just with your knowledge and just things behind you, just keeping people woke and what have you there, just as far as the ways of the world, how things move here. People take it how they want to take it. The hell with them. You keep letting folks know what's right and what's wrong here. And I couldn't be more proud as far as to say I'm a Southern alum with you, man. And I just want to thank you for the opportunity again, just to have talk to you and everything else, Phil, man. Salute to you, man. Leonard Jihad, one of New Haven's own here. Met Jihad in my adult life, as I shared on the episode here. But just to just hear all the work he's doing, the service he's providing. Again, I know he played a little bit of sports. Didn't know he went to school with Shannon Sharp. He shared that as well too, which was pretty cool to hear. You know, but again, just obviously the probation officer life, just the acts of service that he's doing now since retired, and just the all the work that he's trying to do to get New Haven right. I mean, I know it's bigger than him, but he's got his hand in it, and again, and he ain't gonna stop pushing and trying to see things right, whether it's New Haven and beyond here. Jihad, I appreciate the time that you spent with me, man. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Dominique Booker. Let me just say something about Dominique. Dominique's a star. I mean, she's a star, and just hearing her ups and downs in the track and field world, when it's pretty much you and the clock, you and that stopwatch or timer, however you want to take the time. But things that she went through to just get where she's at. You know, I just want to say thank you, Dominique, just for everything that you've done. I couldn't be more proud of you, and we're immaculate alum. And like I said, just thank you for the opportunity, as far as to talk to you. And I also say, and I try to get females on as much as possible here, but I'm also mindful, as far as reaching out to folks, and don't want to get eerie or scary or something crazy, as far as I don't need nobody knocking on my door. I know these times, man, like people weirdos or whatever the case is. So I try to be mindful with that, not to be too overbearing with these cold calls or reach outs or what have you there. But Dominique, you were willing and gracious enough to give me some of your time. And I just wanted to say thank you for the opportunity. Brendan Floyd. Brendan, man, another one of my adult lives. I couldn't ask for a better person to come into my world here. Not only OVOs, never mind Drake with that. We October's very own. Our birthdays are back-to-back days here. But just to see you just elevate and continue to just try new things, man, whether it was from bodybuilding, whether it's the modeling, the acting. I mean, you just throw your hat in and you step in and you give it your all here. Guess that comes, obviously from the parents of yours or what have you, man. And, I know sports and all that stuff plays a part. You was a scholarship athlete playing basketball. You did your thing with that. Like I said, the other stuff that you're doing now, you're raising, great kids or what have you, great wife. I mean, if I can steal something from you here and there, man, I'm at least putting it out in the open. I'm going to. Or maybe I haven't, just haven't told you. But I just want to just say thank you, just for the opportunity, one, for us to just say that we boys and we're able to talk, what have you, man. I really cherish, as far as who we are and how we get along, what have you. So I just wanted to say thank you. Deshaun Hawkins, DJ Hawk. I call you Deshaun anyway. So, but just to hear about, the things you went through, as far as whether it's playing ball or just, growing up in Hartford, trying to get to the next step, next step, next step, the next step. I mean, you did what you had to do. You totally did what you had to do, and you didn't let nothing stop you. Multitasking as far as just navigating through all of this here, and that's just the hoops part of it. Then, the music life, the life of a DJ is crazy, you know, pre-pandemic, you're all over the place, not knowing a club here, club there. You might be performing in front of 20 people to 2,000. Being on the air, on the radio, when you probably some days you don't want to spin a record, but you figure it out, into other stuff that you got going on, working with people along those lines as well, too. Like I said, you're someone I definitely admire, man, and I appreciate all that you've done and continue to do. And I just look forward to what's to come. I've always say that to you, man. I just look forward to what's next with you. So, my man, I appreciate it, Deshaun. Corey, Rod, Paul. Did I just say everybody? No, excuse me. Corey, Mike, Dax. Call Mike Dax. Rod and P. again, just being part of that unit in college when I needed you guys the most, just trying to figure this out. You guys continue to be yourselves here, and that never changed on me. If I did change, it was more of a growth, not just changing to be acting stupid or whatever the case is, man. You continue to grow. Everybody just again, I talked about fathers to get everybody on and just share our experiences about being fathers because that's who we become. Is it a lot more to us? Absolutely. But again, I knew that would be the curve to get you guys on at once here. But I wanted to say thank you to you, each and every one of you, as far as just helping me become the person that I am. So, now thanks, C, Dax, Paul, and Rod. I appreciate it. Lou Grimsley tells me call him Lou, but I just say coach. Stars are stars. Just thinking about from what I hear from everybody here, just giving it to people. And he made it clear that he did when I spoke to him. And I loved that, loved every minute about it. Talked about football, his football prowess as well too, but how he transitioned from culture. But before even getting to culture, some of the things he went through, and unfortunately to make it to that next level for whatever reason it was here. But he got on that coach and got on that sideline and went on a tear. Them Shabazz teams that he put out there, remarkable. Lives that he touched, and I just think about knowing the city of Newark or what have you, and things he had to go through to make sure those kids stayed on the straight and narrow. But if they did fall off, he got them back up, and he just made sure he was a figure in their life. He was a figure like whether on or off the court. I'm sure the off the court stuff means just as much or even more than, the wins and losses, but I just appreciate Coach just having the opportunity to talk to me, just to hear about when I start making this coaching list or what have you. I was just like, it'd be great if I could find Lou Grams, Frank Verducci. In Essex County, you hear Verducci, it's something prominent. You know, um, Coach Verducci was able to talk to him, 80 plus years old, sharp as a tack still. Was able to just share his experiences that in 3 hours, I still probably got a tiny bit. But to just sit there and soak all that in, couldn't ask for a better time. Just sharing him as an athlete, talk about his coaching, talk about family, everything else in between. We talked actually probably a couple of months or so even before actually getting on the air and doing a whole conversation on the official thanks. Yeah, we talked on the phone quite a few times before then. But just have an opportunity to meet somebody again, I never thought I would meet. You know, Coach Fiducci, I appreciate it. Corey Boyd, stars are stars here. You know, growing up in the projects in Orange, not knowing which way he was going, you know, got into some stuff like all of us have. Somehow he's able to find guidance as far as different mentors and what have you throughout his life. Ended up playing at South Carolina. No, never meeting him until just when I had the conversation with him, but to just see him turn on ESPN, see him getting the rock running up and down the field, I was like, wow, that's what it is, Orange Boy, Wall. And then you'll forget basketball player that he was. He let that be known too. Wall, all-time leading scorer at Orange. Getting drafted into the league, having his battles as far as Wall ups and downs in the league as well too. Going over to Canada, giving that a shot. But ultimately, just doing what he wants to do right now as far as nonprofit and other stuff that he got his hands in. Corey, I appreciate every minute that you spoke to me. So I just wanted to again say thank you. JoJo Walters. Woo. Cleon, we got him. You got him. What more can I say? Folks, if y'all didn't listen to this interview or this conversation, please do so. Episode 59. But Mr. Walters, it was just, you know, you made it clear, like it's your come up as far as somebody that wasn't on anybody's radar to being, Playboy All American, to get an opportunity, a shot at the league, to even taking all of that and doing what you do now with your life, in business, speaking, everything else here. Mr. Walters, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. For giving me opportunity just to hear you, just a little bit of your world. Thank you there. Lou Rassiopi, coach, knew all about you. We may have met once or twice. I think so, but I knew all about you as the coach, and then obviously as the player, being an immaculate guy. You're my top five at immaculate for a reason. As far as what you how you competed, in all the sports, baseball, football, you name it. You did what you had to do. But you was also a leader and educator as well. Coaching. You know, have an opportunity to just share your wisdom with all of us here, and continue to do so here. Don't know exactly as far as Verona. They lost a great person with the nonsense that they tried to pull. So hopefully you get opportunity. If you want to coach, you should have an opportunity to coach again. But coach, it was an opportunity, of a lifetime for me to have those few minutes with you. Again, never thought I'd have opportunity to talk to you, but I just wanted to say thank you. Herman Austin, call, helicopter. And like I shared with him, opening up that Star Ledger, come basketball season, you bound to see him whatever X amount of points or whatever he did, whether at Keene and even before that, university, then even after that, you know, traveling all over the world. That's that thing. Don't let somebody tell you you can't do something, no matter what level you playing at. That rock took him everywhere across the world here. Had an opportunity, almost, got on those Nick teams in the '90s. Doing this thing now as a trainer, like one of those superheroes. I just in my mind I knew him, but we never met until now. But like I said, Herm, I appreciate those moments. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. Paul Smith, hey, what's up, man? In my adult life, having an opportunity, you get an opportunity to meet a lot of people. Running into Paul, having an opportunity to meet with him, and just the great man that he is. But to even just hear about him growing up in Hartford, you know, ups and downs he went through playing basketball, once he after his stellar career at Hartford High, some of the, trials and tribulations he went through over at University of Hartford, but didn't let him stop him because he continued, educated, masters, doing well for himself, family guy, everything else. And just to just hear him talking and catch up with him, because it was a minute. Like I said, I appreciate every second of it. Thanks, Paul. Khalif. That's all I'm just gonna call him Khalif, man. Montclair High Zone superstar. Like I shared with him. I got summons to come to New Jersey since I moved. And I rarely caught football games, but I was summoned to come down like, Ib, you gotta see this young man play. It's like video game watching him. I thought, again, I'm dating myself. Thought I had like a joystick. I thought I was like Bo Jackson on Tecmo Bowl. Where you, you just this guy, you just couldn't stop. He star electric. But to just sit down and just shoot the breeze with him. While it was more than just that. Obviously he went on to Temple. And there's some of the ups and downs of his life, man. Just being adopted, having gone through those situations as far as trying to figure out family situation and this and that. Finding solid footing, but also and then again how to take a step back to get a step forward here. Khalif, man, I just want to say thank you for the opportunity, man. I didn't think you give me a shot as far as to talk to you, but I appreciate it. Thank you. Johnny Blaze Turner. This is my barber nowadays. I think we about 22 years in that adult life, as far as I couldn't go to my man Farouk anymore. Not as often, rather. Johnny stepped in. And just to see the man that Johnny is on a week in and week out basis, you know, heart of gold, get the shirt off his back. I know that's a cliche, but it's true. You know, a staple in New Britain. You know, and I know Johnny never talks about, you know, his life or just being open. For him to give me that opportunity just to talk stuff I didn't even know about, and I sit in his chair pretty regularly. You know, it's usually us beat him in the head about something or this and that. I'm sure he need to wear a helmet. Just how much he gets beat in the head on a day in and day out basis as a barber. But for him to just sit there and talk, it was just great to see and great to hear. So Johnny, I appreciate all that you've done. Another superhero growing up, Anthony Avery, Shabazz's own. You know, is one of these people just never thought you'd have an opportunity to talk to. You know, as a kid, the little boy in me comes out, but for Anthony, just be like, nah, not a problem. Let's talk. You know, just to hear a little bit of his world, there's a whole lot more to it. But just, you know, his comings, his shortcomings, him getting over certain obstacles, to being the first round pick in the NBA, playing in the NBA finals, being in the NBA finals, actually the NCAA finals as well too. So just having such a career, but also even afterwards, him giving back to the community, doing what he can to make sure folks are, you know, succeeding. Whatever he could do, he's doing. So now, Anthony, I appreciate it. Jay Alford, Super Bowl champ, New York Giants. You know, having you know, though being from Orange, and I know people's lives, you know, take off for this and that. He didn't have a problem to sit down and just sharing that. Just, you know, talk about running from his house to the football stadium to exercise. From there, leading him going to Penn State, doing what he did at Penn State, getting drafted. And like I said, ultimately, like I said, he went and put an end to New England's undefeated run that one year. You know, all this from Orange, my neighborhood. And just to hear that, no, Jay, appreciate every minute you spent with me, man. Thank you. And I love that floss in the back with the picture you sacking Tom Brady as well, too. That's one of my favorite moments as well, too. So nah, thank you. I appreciate it. Troy Webster, from Our Lady of Valley to Scott, on to college here, you know, at George Washington. Troy, thank you. You hear about certain people and you say certain people's names, other folks just light up and just have stories for days or just tell you how great they were and how great they are. And Troy, you're one of them. But to be so humble and just to have opportunity to just share a little bit, I just wanted to say thank you. It meant the world to me to have opportunity to talk with you. Mo Layton, this one was for my pops. You know, I appreciate Mr. Layton just taking the time out, you know, to talk. I mean, that historic weak weight team in the '60s, teams. You know, what I mean, let me clarify that teams. For Mo Layton to be a part of those and how they just lit up the city, things they were just doing, and just for him to just talk about that. And you know, I know he had some rough times or just some not so good times. You know, trying to just navigate this whole basketball thing, you know, going on to junior college, from junior college to USC, from USC to the league, playing in the league, and, you know, not getting necessarily his just due in regards to how things played out. You know, however people want to, you know, what they want to say or how they want to say, that's on them. But just hearing his truth about everything here, you know, I'm sure for me it was just breathtaking and just letting him go, you know, as far as talking or what have you there. You know, never thought I would see Mo Layton ever in my life, but to just have him on the screen and just listening to him talk and just share his world, you know, means a whole lot. And like I said, this one was for my pops. I know him being a weak way guy. Excuse me, let me correct that. Weak wake. You know, it was good stuff. Good stuff. Atari, Salahuddin. When you talk about Orange, especially basketball, you know, can't say that without saying Atari. You know, I know There's a lot of coaches, a lot of people that's been through Orange, but Atari's name's going to get mentioned somewhere in that conversation when talking about basketball, what have you. There, he's a Montclair guy. I didn't know that, but Montclair guy as far as just growing up playing sports or what have you, as far as a Montclair. But as far as the orange goes, as far as those orange teams, sometimes he wouldn't say, as far as he meant more as a coach than probably the actual regular season coaches. But he made sure there was a separation between the two here. But you ask some of the players, I'm sure they would probably say that. And other the businesses that he does here as far as business ventures and involved in, politics, what have you, throughout his life here. Well life lived and he continues to live it. Atari, thank you so much. Bob Diaco. When this Essex County stuff started happening in regards to me reaching out or trying to get folks in Essex County, Bob Diaco was high on that list. I had the opportunity to play against him and compete against him, as far as him being at Cedar Grove, me being at Immaculate. He initially started at Cedar Hall Prep, but once he transferred over to Cedar Grove here, tenacious. Just, nah, they'd knock you in the next week if you give him the opportunity. Even if you didn't give him the opportunity, he was going to do it anyway. But just to see how he just took that, I'm about to say basketball, took football and just, it was a business. He made it a business of his to make sure like it became a career of his. Went on to Iowa, did well at Iowa, went on to become a coach in the coaching ranks, what have you. This is what he wanted to do. And this is, when you take football, take Cedar Grove. I know there's been some other people before my era. It was Bob Diaco. And Bob, thank you. Because you didn't have to do this at all. So I just wanted to just say thank you. Mike Fess, Coach Fess, my basketball coach as far as in high school. But even before the coaching, the Fess name, you know, one of many siblings as far as just him playing sports. No matter what the season was, he was playing, an immaculate part of some state championship teams, football, basketball wise here, jumped to the coaching ranks as far as, at immaculate here, had the opportunity to, like I said, coach me, all the headaches I used to give him. But no matter what, he's an immaculate guy. And I'm just so happy, like I said, for him to be back coaching. I haven't gotten an opportunity to see him coach again since he's been back at it. But I look forward to one day getting an opportunity to sneak up on him and everything. But I also just wanted to say thank you just for giving me a chance to play and, and all of us to play at Immaculate. And, at Immaculate, a lot of improvising as far as, situations, as far as conditions and, equipment and, space and everything else here. He made it work. He made it work for us. And, his record shows that. So Coach Fest, thanks. Skip, Robert Skipper, Skip. Yeah, there's not too many public high school teams that can say they won the tournament champions in New Jersey. You can say that though. And just have an opportunity to go on that magical run you guys went on to win that tournament championship crown. But also just things that you went through in your life, man, with your family. And you could have easily said, you know what, I'm done with all of this. I ain't playing. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing that. But man, you stayed, you held your own too, and you figured it out. And you're doing, your thing now as far as with your life here. You got your daughter, you coaching, and everything else here. So basketball continues to be in your life. And Skip, I appreciate you talking to me, man. Thank you. Michael Shannon, Mr. Shannon, was on that list too when I started putting this together. Like, who can I get? Who can I get? Outside of just, running or co-owning East Orange Sporting Goods here, you've done a whole lot in regards to, changing people's lives here as far as coaching and being in people's lives in that capacity here. I just wanted to say thank you. Again, it's one of those things that you just never know who's watching. I've been one of those watching. As I shared with you, I remember you coaching down at Our Lady of Lords and everywhere else here as far as that goes in some of those teams as well. And your kids, great athletes, all of them, winners too, winners, not only in the court, but also in life here. So I just wanted to say thank you for giving me the opportunity to talk with you a little bit. I really, really appreciate it. Kelvin Robinson, please don't tell me that dreams don't come true. You know, and you don't have to always take the route everybody's taking. Didn't play an ounce of basketball as far as in high school. None of them Shabazz teams where, he lived at. He was told to go to junior college. He went to junior college, and I don't know if it was a tryout, just showed the coach, he could play. Next thing you know, he on the team. Next thing you know, he ain't paying for school no more because he's scholarship bound at University of Buffalo. And from there, took that and went overseas. All this just, again, not your traditional route. He talked about as far as, you know, um, I just remember the one thing as far as father bringing an engine in the house, them having to fix it, just different things as far as life lessons. And we all taught lessons in different ways here, man. But Kelvin, I really appreciate you just sharing that again. So anybody tell me you have to take this certain route to get somewhere, that's not true. And Kelvin's prime example of that. Wardell Strickland. Wardell and Ibn Webb here, two big head kids here. But just have an opportunity to see Wardell, come up here, same age, same grade, what have you. There was AAU basketball. Then me having to watch him, be jealous a little bit too. When they winning titles and Essex County titles and all that other stuff. But jealous, but still at the same time proud. Proud of him. Proud that I know him. I can say that I know him but also just hearing some of the other stuff he's gone to as far as, when he went off to college situations he got into and, having to get out of, eventually ending up down south, having to just I'm about to say revise. I guess revise or just, refocus and get his life together and do different things here. So basically reinventing himself, doing well, got some big names behind him in regards to his life and his moves that he's making here. So I wish him much, much more success with that, and look forward to see what's next. Tim Walker, fellow lefty, Orange High. I just again, this one meant a lot as well too because Tim's brother Anthony, him and I grew up together. And Anthony's no longer here, but we both looked at Tim. Obviously, Anthony was in the same house with Tim, so he got a whole different probably admiration for him. But me, just my admiration, not only being a lefty, quarterback, pitcher, what have you, he was also known as Raggedy Man for those in the rap world. He could say he'd been on a song with Big. Not a lot of people could say that before Big took off. Tim could say that. So Tim has lived a lot of different lives here and has done well with all of them. And I'm just so proud, like I said, to just say that I know Tim and, and he's actually ghostwritten for me. Oh, so that's pretty funny as well, too. That was funny to share that with him. Britt and Shanielle Young. When I got married, I was just like, you try to model certain couples, take a couple things from them. Brent and Shanielle by far one of my favorite couples here. Friends of my wife initially, but I've gotten to know them, both of them in different capacities in regards to business stuff or what have you there. But just to see what they've done, not only collectively but with their children, hopefully I'm doing okay. I've probably got a long, long way to go to be at their level as far as the great husband and great couple, but hopefully I'll get there. And I just want to thank them for just giving me some of their time. Sean McCray, OG, knowing of you and knowing about you, obviously watching the YouTube series as well too. You are Newark. You are Newark. I mean, let nobody tell me different, anybody else different. When you think of Newark, it should be a poster. And I mentioned that about somebody else as well too, but OG Sean McCray. I mean, things you've done with these kids, miracles, man. Miracles again, day in and day out, just having to just do what you do here, it takes a lot. But sometimes when you're doing the work, you don't even think it's work because you just know that eventually it'll click for them. It'll click for them. When I say them, meaning these youngins that's out here. So you know, then just hearing about you, just as far as going to school, being a college graduate, but going back into the streets, realizing these streets ain't gonna end up, but your traditional two ways, dead or in jail. And you just figure, hey, I'm not gonna take that route and just getting your act together and doing what you do. Nah, salute OG. Appreciate it. Derek Lewis. It's another one of those adult life things here. While great athlete in West Haven, went on to UConn, eventually ended up at Southern, my alma mater. Derek, when I met you, I was just like something about this guy. And then when I found out a little bit more about it, I was like, that's what it is. Just a great man, just a great man, whether it being, working, with families and children, whether it's coaching, whether it's in your ministry that you do, whatever you do, like you touch, great things happen, man. And like I said, it's a pleasure to know you and to have met you, and look forward to just seeing what's to come with you, man. Definitely. Greg Hines, they call him Duncan Hines, Montclair's own. You know, just hearing this story, he didn't even play varsity till the senior year. Going on at Hampton, Hall of Famer at Hampton, coaching, just having his hands in this and that, and just hearing. I mean, his family is a sports family. From nephews to nieces to everything else. That Hines name rings bells in Montclair and beyond. So getting one of the elderly Hines, as far as Greg Hines, as far as just to listen to him and talk to him, I couldn't ask for nothing more. Enjoyable time spent with him. Mr. Hines, thank you. Tony Pierce, East Orange guy. Have an opportunity to take coaching and take it and moving it on to, the collegiate level, doing some stuff with the pros, but just feeling like, one stop, they don't have to just be one stop at the high school level. You can expand yourself and do other things with yourself here. I know he's acting and doing some other stuff as well too. No limits. Don't care how old you are, no limits to this as far as just what you want to do with yourself. And Coach Pierce is a prime example of that. And I appreciate the minutes spent with you, Coach Pierce. Tyrone Mason, one of those before I went to Immaculate, just doing some homework on. And Tyrone was, I mean, don't mean this in no derogatory way whatsoever. Just an animal. Like he just got to it. Defensive tackle. I know he played offense, but his calling card was defensive tackle. Like whoever's an old lineman, man, I had him in front of him, probably just dreaded that whole week in practice. Like, you know, and having a game day, having to deal with him. You know, I know for whatever reason, some things he might not have got his just due as far as just the time and the situation or what have you there. But what he did it to the best. And, and like I shared with him, I remember just being a freshman and he coming back to coach. Excuse me, I wasn't a freshman. He was coaching the freshman team. And I was a senior. And I just seeing him down, I'm like, damn, that's Tyrone Mason down there. So just having that excitement of just knowing like one of the OGs and somebody who just was just busy, like helped fuel me as well too. So nah, Tyrone, thank you, man. Thank you. Eddie McNeil, Sharif, some people call him here. Bunch of energy. You could just tell, like just talking to him, like cool, just style on you. That's just who he is. On the court, you know, I've probably seen him play, but just hearing some of the stuff that as far as that he did as far as on the court, and if he was just had stuck with it, who knows where he would have ended up. But you know, he wound up just getting into the entertainment world and just doing his 1-2, movies, just fashion, whatever the case is here, and just talking to him, you can just hear that energy in him. So when talking to him, and I've had opportunity to talk to him more since then as well too, I just get excited listening to him on the phone, thinking either, hey, I could go pick up a ball, or man, maybe I should just go shopping and make sure my fresh is up to par here. So, but nah, Eddie Sharif, man, I appreciate this. I appreciate meeting you and everything else, man. Look forward to more conversations as well with you. Man, Mustafa, pleasure to meet you, man. You're very inspiring as far as the media stuff that you're doing. I know as far as here in New Jersey and up and down the East Coast here, when this thing just really, really takes off and you're international, you might be and just didn't share it with me. I'm just looking forward to like what's to come here. Again, I know it all started with an idea and you just took it and ran. And I tell a lot of people, you never know where an idea can take you, and you're living proof of that. So I'm looking forward to that as far as all this and where you're gonna go with it. So nah, salute to you, man. Christian Harrison, getting into this housing game. I remember like, hey, let me try to figure this out, get a property or two or so. Christian was my guy, like making sure those mortgages lined up. Karan signed the paper, all 20,000 sheets of paper. You know how that go. But always been a stand up guy in regards to me and like situations that look good, don't look good. You shouldn't mess with that. Don't do that. But what have you there? And still with me to this day. I'm talking 15 years or so later here in regards to all this stuff. But even outside of that, just our daughters are pretty much the same age, neck and neck here. We're fathers trying to figure this father thing out, but also trying to figure this husband thing and life out as well too. So a lot of commonalities in regards to that. But just to see that side of him, as far as talking about his baby girl and everything else here, the business and all that is great, but it has to be a balance, and I think he's found that. So now, Christian, I appreciate it. Sal Simeon. Simeon, like I said, he reached out to me. One of the cool things with this, as far as having people reach out, like, not necessarily what about me moment, but hey, I got something to say. And he was one of them. So just having an opportunity to just listen as far as whether it was him playing ball in Newark, football, basketball, whatever the case may be, going to the valley, while trying to figure out life, and a little bit down the road ends up getting his law degree, prominent family attorney now, just just doing his thing, and watched his kids grow up and everything, what have you. It was just take it back as far as just having an opportunity to listen to him. So nah, I really appreciate those moments. Thank you. Marcus Tony L. Another stars of stars during his time, you know, but also he shared a bunch of jewels, and one of them, he had a talent, he didn't put in the work. A lot of us could probably say that. I don't care what industry or business that you're in, you could be talented, but if you don't put that work in, it's eventually going to catch up to you. And he was candid enough to share that. But even some of the situations that he got into that became publicized while at Seton Hall University, but that doesn't take away, some of the outstanding things that he's done athletically or what have you. He's coaching now. He's doing a bunch of other things as well too. And it's just great to see him and having an opportunity to talk to him. John Robinson, J. Rob. I've been, like I shared with him, just being in Orange Middle, seeing him, the style and just cool, cool. That's one thing I could just mention in regards to J. Rob here. But just hearing like, hey, while being in an apartment by himself, trying to figure this out, ended up at ODU after a stint in junior college, just to again, your journeys end up differently here, and then and just doing some of the work that he's doing now and everything. Like I said, just for me to just sit there and just listen, it was such a joy. Again, he's one of those in my mind. I probably said what's up to in passing, knowing I didn't, but I appreciate it, J. Rob. Thank you, Earl Leonard, EL. It's growing up in my complex, man. Like I told you, I wanted to be you. I wanted to be you. Just how you just went about it, just who you were and everything else here. And just, I know life at some points necessarily wasn't easy for you, but I don't know anybody who had it easy straight through. Now, if it is, it's a small percentage. But somehow you've persevered and, married, everything else, man. Like I said, I could be more proud, man. Nah, yeah, I appreciate that time spent with you and just hearing you out a little bit. Nah, thank you. Abdul Madison. Ab. This is one of those I had that list. I was like, I didn't think I could get to it as far as get that. I ain't think you would talk. I ain't think you'd get on and talk with me. But you did. You ain't bat an eye. He's like, everybody got you, and just to listen to him. Don't tell me you can't get out of certain situations, while being locked up, being jammed up here and there, but still finding a way to get out of it and just persevering through your thing with this thing we call life here. Now you're a college basketball coach. You're doing other things as well too, other different businesses and everything else here. I'm just proud to say that I know you, man, and thank you for giving me that time because I know you don't do it for a lot of people, man. So I just wanted to say thank you. Steve Cavello. I have an opportunity to compete against Steve, but that didn't mean much to me when talking to him. I just wanted to just listen to Steve and just hear him, the ups and downs of life, getting hit in the head, falling, getting up. That's what Steve did. That's what us, Jersey boys do. Steve is a prime example of that. He just keeps going, just keeps going. Don't let nothing get in the way here. I know he's coaching now and got some other things going on, but it was just a pleasure just to sit back and just listen to Steve. So, no, Steve, whatever you need from me, man, conversation or whatever the case is, look forward to meeting you, not meet you, but catching up with you in person, man. So, definitely, man, salute. Lamar Sherrod. Lamar, what's up, man? I'm smiling just because, again, just watching you, man, as I share with you, just being that young and watching you and just needing, just needing to steal or just watch how some people move to be like, okay, let me take that. Oh, I got it. Let me not throw a little ebb on it. And like you was one of those guys, man. And you did you. You did you. And it was unapologetic about it. And that's what I appreciate so much about you, man. Even back then, I know you packed your bags and went out west and made a life for yourself, man. And I just want to say I'm just happy for you, man, and even more happy to have an opportunity to say that I know you. So I appreciate everything, Lamar. Tori Pelham, thank you, thank you, thank you for speaking your truth in regards to your life and your come up and how things have gone for you here. Not necessarily all sweet, as you shared, but you still standing, and that's what it's about when it's all said and done. So I know I just appreciate all the time that you gave me, just opportunity just to hear you out, man. So again, just having the ability to speak your truth, man. I appreciate it. Thank you, Mike Fest. This is the younger Mike Fest, my coach's son here, but called a nice life of his own right now. All excellent, excellent athlete here. Went on the Holy Cross do his thing out there. He can open up the record books out there. You'll see his name sprinkled in there, somewhere along the way here. But even outside of that, just having the opportunity to just do his own thing. I don't necessarily say he was in his dad's shadow, but still his namesake. So I'm sure just having opportunity to do his thing in regards to in athletics, which he's still doing and still involved and still part of now. So now I really appreciate Mike taking time out, and we owe each other that night out too. So we'll get to it. We'll definitely get to it. Billy Lovett. Billy's one of those as far as in my era we knew like it was something about him. It was something about him early on, whether it was baseball, whether it was basketball. The case is, you know, and as I shared with him, he made a business decision, before a lot of people make a business decisions as far as to just leave his neighborhood and travel, to Jersey City here to play at St. Anthony's. When, folks are just talking, Billy ain't never gonna see the court. He ain't gonna get on. Not only did he see the court, he won titles. And also got a chance to go to school for free. And not only that, ties for the rest of his life as far as just connections and everything else, how this game, a game of basketball, or what it's done for him, what have you. Know he's coaching a great group of young women now, and I wish you much success with that. But Billy, I really appreciate you because I know you didn't have to do this. So I just wanted to say thank you. Kim Fisher. Talked to Kim a couple of times, few times before actually getting him on here. He's like, Abe, I'm gonna do it. I'm retired. I'm just living my best life. I'm out and about, but we gonna do it. And when he got on, just to listen to him, East Orange guy, having to, you know, take a different route to get to where he's at here. Probably did get his necessary just due, but when he did and when he showed as far as playing, from what I hear, it was a sight to see. I hear like when he shot his jumper, the Nets didn't move when the ball went in. That's how nice he was with it. Yeah, I just appreciate it. Like I said, just to sit back and listen to, Kim Fisher and, like I said, from what I hear from everybody, the boy was bad. That's that's what comes up. That's one of the sayings when they mention Kim Fisher. Rodney Williams, another one. Rodney, I was talking to him hot rod prior to all of this happening. A couple of months and everything else is having these conversations with him. Finally got him. We talk about East Orange, you talk about Hot Rod. He's East Orange to the core. Know he has some time in Orange, but he's East Orange, man. Just what he's done with his life, whether it's hoops, whether it's business, everything else, he did it right. He did it his way, So, I mean, just to take some of that from him and just to listen, the pleasure was all mine, Hot Rod. I just wanted to say thank you. I really appreciated those minutes with you here. Dave Fields, I just paused because again, I never thought I'd get these opportunities. Mr. Fields, started off, I mean, East Orange guy as well, but just, got into the world of boxing. And not only boxing on his own, but later on becoming a boxing official, officiating championship fights, Golden Glove fights, whatever kind of fight you name it. Mr. Fields has done it here. Just an extraordinary career he's had in the ring, but just real humble and down to earth and just a whole wealth of knowledge just about not only boxing but the game of life here. So, Mr. Fields, I really, really appreciate the time spent with you. Thank you. Fred Givens, Mackley guy. Again, as I shared with him, I was watching from afar, just seeing who's who, and he was one of those who's of who's. You know, Fred, I just had to try my best to get to where you got to. I don't think I did get that far, reach those heights, but damn if I ain't try. And I just appreciate the opportunity as far as you giving me just to share your life or what have you there. That's all 99 of them that I went through as far as episodes. I just wanted to say thank you to everybody as far as the opportunity to just share my time and your time and those who are viewing it that might not have been interviewed. Hopefully, I can just get a whole bunch of other folks here. Feel free to send people my way through somebody or directly at me here. Officialthinks.com, info@officialthinks.com if you want to email me, all those other handles here. But I do this because it's genuine. It's from the bottom of my heart here. Not looking for anything. But like I said, I just appreciate all this. I'm totally, totally taken back, a year or so later, from when I initially started this to be 100 of these in. So hopefully we got 100 plus more to go. And we can just keep doing what we do. So as I like to say, I put my hand over my heart. Y'all know the rest. Peace.